everybody, it's Team TOYnado.
Hi everybody and welcome to Team TOYnado. This is Jeff.
And Lindsay.
And we are excited because we are shooting our 40th anniversary of the Star Wars movies. And as you can see here, this is the beginning of A New Hope. When Darth Vader and all of his stormtroopers came into the Tantive 4 and were chasing down Princess Leia and the plans to destroy the Death Star. Some of our characters here in the front here, where you can see the back of them, and the character in the middle is Captain Antilles. As you remember from the movie, Darth Vader force chokes him out. He's actually looking to try to track down Princess Leia and the plans that they were stolen. As you can see here, he's not in a very good mood, and he's ready to take on his rampage. Him and his stormtroopers have busted into the ship. I don't think these guys are going to stand a chance. What do you think, Lindsay?
I don't know. Stormtroopers are pretty bad shots.
That is true. That is true. But, as we know from the movie, they actually prevail in this one. And as you can see, Darth Vader, as powerful as he is, did infiltrate. And I think this is going to be the last days of Captain Antilles.
Oh, no.
However, we know what happens after this. From the movie, that things happen for the good. And we'll see that soon. And by the good, we mean Princess Leia. She has the plans to destroy the Death Star, and that's what Darth Vader's after. She's taking the plans and she's secretly hiding them onto R2-D2, an astromech droid. Him and his friend C-3PO are in the mix here to try to get the plans to Obi-Wan Kenobi. Thing is the stormtroopers are storming in on where Princess Leia's at. And here comes the stormtroopers. They set their gun for stun and shoot Princess Leia. Before that, they put R2-D2 and C-3PO into an escape pod. At this point, they're traveling above the planet Tatooine, and their escape pod escapes the Tantive 4, ends up on Tatooine. The escape pod was jettisoned from the Tantive 4, although they cannot find any signs of life on it. Darth Vader catches up to Princess Leia, and Darth Vader catches Princess Leia and takes her back to a Star Destroyer. So our droids, R2-D2 and C-3PO, landed on the planet of Tatooine after they escaped the Tantive 4 in their escape pod. And one is going to go one way, and the other is going to go another. But I'm sure they're going to meet up again. R2-D2 and C-3PO had thought they'd made their escape. However, the stormtroopers were not far behind. They had made their way to Tatooine, and they actually accommodated a dewback, which is a lizard creature that's indigenous to Tatooine. And they scoured the planet, finding the crash site. They found the crash site where the pod landed that escaped the Tantive 4. They are on the pursuit of the droids.
Look, sir, droids!
So we catch up with R2-D2 in the direction he went. He ran into a band of Jawas, who is a group of creatures who live on the planet of Tatooine. They like capturing robots and other things and sell them to people. That's where they make their money, on this hot desert planet. The Jawas capture R2-D2 and soon C-3PO. This next shot is from Luke Skywalker's house. As we can see here, this is the home out there in the middle of the desert, along with his Aunt Beru, a moisture droid, and his beloved land speeder that he had. Unbeknownst to Luke, he doesn't know what his future beholds, except for his aunt and uncle do, since he was left there as a little boy after the Clone Wars. The next morning, the Jawas showed up at Uncle Owen's house with a bunch of droids and other items that they sell to make their living. Uncle Owen needed a couple of droids to work in his moisture farm. Promised Luke one more year on the farm, he'd let him go to the Space Academy. Luke was a little upset, but he decided to stay on. That day, they decided to pick a couple of droids to work on the farm with them. Problem is, what they didn't know was R2-D2 had sabotaged a bunch of the droids upon the ship except for C-3PO so that they'd be chosen. At first, they chose R5-D4, which Luke called Red. His motivator malfunctioned. Wonder who did that. They also chose C-3PO because of his ability to speak different languages. He could speak to the robots in the field. After the malfunction of R5-D4, they decided to go with R2-D2. That may have been a good choice or a bad choice. As we know, they're being chased by the stormtroopers and Darth Vader. Unbeknownst to this family, the stormtroopers are after them. I'd like to stop for a minute here because this is a toy video, and up to this point all we've had is action figures and stuff like that. And most of this line comes from 1995 up until the present, up through the time we found a lot of cool things to do here. From the first shot on the Tantive, that's basically a lot of figures that came from that era, 1995 through 98. As we move through, the dewback and the stormtroopers and sand troopers, they're all the same area, line of toys. Here, they did scenes, little background scenes like we have here with Uncle Owen and Luke purchasing the droids, Aunt Beru and all this. So this is kind of the first setup that we wanted to do with this line of toys for our videos, is kind of show the toys that we have and bring them into perspective of the movie and kind of tell the story and show what we have. So like I said, a lot of this right now that we've seen is from like the 95 to 98 toy series. I know a lot of stuff goes back to the beginning, and we have some of that, but it's really hard to find, or you know, it's very rare, very expensive, or maybe it's in a box in our family's basement somewhere that we haven't looked at. But back when this movie first started, I was 4 years old, and you think of a 4-year-old, he doesn't remember a lot, but I remember seeing this movie 3 times with my family. Lindsay, how old were you when this came out?
1.
So Lindsay doesn't remember it until probably The Empire Strikes Back, right? So by the time you remembered anything, it was by The Empire Strikes Back.
Probably more like Return of the Jedi.
Well, we got all that we can bring back to anybody that wasn't around at the time, or maybe are younger and are showing their children, grandchildren, and whatnot. But let's go ahead and move on to the next scene.
All right.
From episode 4.
Let's do it.
So that night, Luke had taken the droids into the home and was cleaning them up. R2-D2 kept on going on about, he has a mission, a mission from the princess. So the next morning, Luke got up, R2-D2 was missing. So he and C-3PO, the next morning, hopped into his land speeder to find the little droid. Now as you can see in this shot here, this is Luke's land speeder. This again is from the 95 through 97 line of toys. I actually had the one from the 1977 movie, but this one's got a lot more detail to it. But the thing is it's got the same things as the other one did. You could fit 2 characters in it. It's got a shifter gear that raises and lowers the wheels. And actually, on the back of the seats, you can attach the droid's feet to them. It also has an opening trunk here in the front that you can store certain items. I've got Luke's binoculars in there, and it kind of shows the engine in there. The original one had the same setup as well. This is kind of a cool toy. I mean, it's it's totally reminiscent of the first movie. It's something iconic that we would see in the movies. Right, Lindsay?
Yeah.
So this here, they are on their way to try to find R2-D2. He's on his way to find Obi-Wan Kenobi, from what we find out. And we want to know who Obi-Wan is. Luke thinks, is it old Ben, the hermit that lives out in the mountains? I guess we'll find out. So as Luke and C-3PO were moving through the desert, they came to a canyon. Luke spotted something out in the horizon. So he decided to go up onto the rock ridge and take a closer look with his binoculars. As he was viewing off in the distance, he saw sand people. Oh no, Luke was in trouble. As Luke's viewing the sand people... Oh no, the Tusken Raiders attacked Luke Skywalker. In the distance, he hears a loud noise. A strange person has come out of the desert to scare off the Tusken Raider and to save Luke. Who could this person be? Well, hello there. I'm Ben Kenobi. We better get out of here soon. The sand people may scare easily, but they come back in greater numbers. Well, hello, little one. Come out of hiding. You're okay now. 3PO, you alright? Ben, we need to get in the speeder and get out of here before they come back. So after Obi-Wan saves Luke and the droids from the Tusken Raiders, they go back to Obi-Wan's house, where Obi-Wan lets Luke in on a secret. Luke also finds out that his droid has been hiding a secret message from Princess Leia. Then Obi-Wan's house, a hologram pops out of R2-D2, explaining that they have plans to destroy a Death Star, a giant space station created by the evil Empire that can destroy planets. She says Obi-Wan is their only hope. At this point, Luke learns a little bit more about Obi-Wan, finds out that the name Ben that he knew was actually Obi-Wan Kenobi. And Obi-Wan fought in the Clone Wars with Luke's father, Anakin. Obi-Wan tells Luke the story of Darth Vader, how he betrayed his father and killed him. Luke, for the first time in his life, has heard about who his father was, which everybody's been keeping a secret from him his whole life. At this point, Obi-Wan gives a gift to Luke. Luke, this is your father's lightsaber. It's a powerful weapon of the Jedi. I will be able to train you like I once was, trained as a Jedi Knight. Luke, you'll need to follow in the path of your father. I can teach you how to be a Jedi Knight. Luke, I could train you in the way of the Jedi, just like your father. We'll need to go now to begin your training and save the princess. But we're going to need a pilot to get off of this planet. So as Obi-Wan, Luke, C-3PO, and R2-D2 were going to go and save the princess. So as Obi-Wan suggested that they needed to leave and have him start his training as a Jedi and save the princess, Luke has 1 more year to run the farm with his uncle. However, what he doesn't know, and he soon finds out, the stormtroopers have caught up with the Jawas and his aunt and uncle. They have basically killed everybody that's been in their path to catch this little droid, R2-D2, that has the plans that could end the Empire. So at this point, Luke understands he has nothing left on this planet of Tatooine, decides to join with Obi-Wan Kenobi to go find the princess and save her, and start his path to become a Jedi. Obi-Wan Kenobi says the best place to find a pilot is in Mos Eisley. This is a very, very dangerous town, spaceport if you have it, where all the scum of the universe comes. But here, they know that they can find a pilot to get them to where they need to go. So Luke and Obi-Wan head to Mos Eisley. As they get to the station, they're surrounded by stormtroopers looking for the droids that they have with them.
Hold right there. What business you have here?
We're going to Mos Eisley to find a pilot.
Are these your droids?
Well, yes, there are droids. They are not the droids you're looking for.
They're not the droids we're looking for.
Move along, move along.
Move along, move along.
Alright, so before we get to the Mos Eisley Cantina, thought we'd take a shot of the toys again, because it's about the toys. Again, we've got Luke and Obi-Wan in the land speeder with R2-D2 and C-3PO and a bunch of the sand troopers. Again, we have the dewback that they were riding on in the desert when they were looking for the probe. So again, it's a giant lizard that is indigenous. Again, these products here from the 95 to 98 line. And in the back, they added this scene into the movies. We've got a Jawa on what's called a rondo, which is another type of creature that's part of Tatooine. This was added in when they re-released it in 1995. So earlier on you saw like Luke's little house. We built that. Didn't really build anything for Obi-Wan's, but as we go along we're going to actually just inject toys and make it go along with the movie. So right here they're moving into Mos Eisley. The next set will be the cantina scene, and then them heading to the Death Star with Han Solo and Chewbacca. So again, we hope you're enjoying these videos. This is part 1 of a 2-part video shoot for A New Hope, and then after that we'll move into the next movie. So again, we hope you're enjoying what we've done so far. Thank you for tuning in to Team TOYnado.
Alright, all you Team TOYnado friends, we hope you enjoyed our first episode of Star Wars here. We've got more to come to showcase our wonderful toys, and we hope that you give us a big thumbs up down in that comment section. We're going to be remaking all of the Star Wars movies with our toys to celebrate with you the 40th anniversary of this wonderful movie that had impacted so many people. So thank you for watching. We hope you had fun today wherever you are. We hope you had a lot of fun. And don't forget to subscribe, give it a big thumbs up, and we'll see you next time. Bye!